What'd you have for breakfast? What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
Yeah, what did you eat for breakfast?
3 sausage, 2 egg, sandwich, Kraft single cheese.
You're eating Kraft single cheese? Can we upgrade your cheese? You're wealthy enough to upgrade your cheese.
I choose that on purpose.
We're live. We're getting set up. Armand was in traffic. He needed time to find his appropriate drink of choice.
What'd you go with, sir?
Sufficiently settled.
With your alcohol selection.
Well, let's see, these look pretty interesting. Adrian just handed me some mezcal, the famous green bottle.
Does he just have that stuff at his desk,
right?
or he has his own like
This is
stash, right?
Desk stash.
Wow, what
Is the green bottle illegal?
illegal?
This one looks very interesting.
I've had that green bottle.
Baller whiskey, American single malt, umeshu cask finished, distilled from barley malt mash.
Well, he gave you
Look at
quite the potpourri
label.
there.
Oh, the Del Maguey. I've had that before.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's pretty good.
It's very good stuff. He said Nick would want this.
Yeah, sure.
He said you like mezcal.
Okay.
Okay.
We have Franco in the chat. His newborn daughter's first pod.
Oh my
So watch your
God.
mouths, boys. Showing her what it's like hanging out with the boys.
That's amazing. Congrats, man.
Yeah,
Newborn
congrats.
daughter. Well, she won't understand. So, unfiltered.
Could filter into the subconscious, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing worse than
Congrats,
here at
dude.
home, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you need that? It's like it's staring at me, your phone.
I have no idea what
Like it's a
doing there.
teleprompter or
No.
something.
I'll take that. Yeah, here.
It's huge.
Yeah.
You have a huge, it's like a small TV in your
Yeah.
pocket.
It gets bigger. Have you seen the original iPhones? They were like half the size.
I feel
Yours is-
insufficient.
I like it. It's like a mini iPad now.
All right, boys. So you have some whiskey. You have some.
I'm just having a little half glass of wet wine, whistle wetter.
Whistle wetter, white
wetter
wine,
wine?
whistle wetter.
Yeah.
This is a Italian white wine. That's a Mina selection.
Oh, thank you.
She likes it.
Nice.
I don't know what it really is
You
all
have the
about.
same?
I think so. I'm gonna have a little sip.
Mm-hmm.
Sip today.
What about you? You got your, what'd you call those? Your water chasers?
My back burners.
Back burners?
Your Pacifico back burners.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good strategy.
Let's give a shout out to the sponsor first. Cool.
Yeah.
So go to zbiotics.com/alfalfa. Use the code alfalfa at checkout and get 15% off the pre-alcohol probiotic. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic that you drink. Wait, what
The
is
drink
it?
you drink.
Oh, the drink you drink before you drink. It takes care of a nasty toxin.
That's taldehyde.
That's the toxin that wrecks your tummy when you start drinking alcohol. And then while you're sleeping, it's wreaking more havoc. And so this probiotic takes care of that. So when you wake up in the morning, you can go to work, you can get your workout done, feel productive, feel better. And try it out. You get 15% off. If you don't like it, they'll give you your money back. And I'm trying to think if there's any big events coming up. It's February. We just go to the Super Bowl.
Well, I have alfalfa on the alfalfa code.
Ooh,
Okay.
what's that?
So a friend told me, he's like, all right, I finally pulled the trigger. I'm trying this ZBiotics. And he's
Lovely.
like, I just figured, let me see what discount I get on the subscription. And then he got the discount on the subscription. Then he used the code alfalfa.
Oh, it doubles down.
Like it does something. It gets a good price. And then it locks you in.
The subscription price?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And he's like, I don't know if ZBiotics, let them do this. Let them
Hold
do this.
on,
This is good
hold
for you.
on.
So yeah, they locks them in on a good subscription price.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to last for about a week.
No big events
Sorry,
coming up,
thank
but
you.
the Formula One season starts next weekend.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
New season? Who won last season?
Lando Norris from McLaren.
Won the whole shebang?
The whole shebang.
Nobody saw that coming, did they?
Nah, yeah, he was kind of like in contention. He was kind of like a favorite the first half of the season, and then Max Verstappen came back and almost came up with the greatest comeback in sports history. Lost
That's stretching.
was behind by. I could show you a graphic that'd be like, wait,
huge
what? Yeah, what?
Sports.
Anyway,
Okay.
new rules, new season.
That's exciting.
You like this sport a lot.
Can we talk about sports
Yeah.
since we're on sports?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the hockey?
No,
USA gold medal game against Canada?
how was it?
Okay, this was insane. This was one of those moments.
Wait, we had another. Did they fight again?
There's always a heated rivalry. You
Or
know?
was it like the first 6 fights in the first 10 seconds?
No, it wasn't
last
like
time?
that. But I mean,
Okay.
this game got really physical. I mean, hockey's a naturally physical game, but I'll just jump to the conclusion. USA won the gold,
Mhm.
but it was like this guy, Jack Hughes, took a high stick to the face, knocked out his whole front teeth.
Ooh.
The front row's gone. There's blood pouring down his face. Stays in the game. We go to overtime, and Jack Hughes scores the gold.
Oh, so that was a
medal
real.
winning goal.
I saw a picture of him biting the gold medal, and his front tooth is cracked in half.
Yeah, it's gone.
So what was
What a
up
great
with
pick.
Trudeau's tweet and then the White House's response, trolling them back? I thought
I didn't see
Canada
the
won.
tweet storm.
because Trudeau was like, you can't take our sport, you know.
Well,
something
I mean,
like that.
Canada kind of owns the sport. They historically own the sport. So
yeah, okay.
gotta
I
give them
figured maybe
credit.
they won or something.
no, I think there was like a lot of there was a lot going on in this game. You know, you have like this like sibling rivalry type thing, but in this dynamic, Canada's the juggernaut.
I kind of imagine some of those guys are on the same team together.
Yeah, like in
Right.
the NHL.
Yeah, in the NHL.
Yeah, I think that it's
lot
like
of them, right?
friendly,
Yeah.
friendly rivalry. I'd say it's like unfriendly, but then afterwards it's all like kind of handshakes and stuff. So it kind of shows the best of sport because you have like really intense on field, and then like afterwards it's all handshakes. But there was this other moment. They brought out these 2 kids, and it was Johnny Gaudreau tragically was hit by a car and passed away in 2024. He was a member of Team USA Hockey. So to give the gold medal, they brought his kids out holding dad's jersey.
Oh, shit.
It was like a really emotional scene. And it was just like, it was like everything you'd want in sports. Like, I'm not a hockey fan really, but this was cool.
Amazing.
Wow. Damn. Go hockey.
But I
Hockey
guess
is an
the-
exceptionally entertaining sport to watch.
That's what I was
One of
feeling.
the best live ones, I feel like. to watch.
Throughout watching it, I was just like, God, this does not get the credit it deserves. And I think it's because nobody grows up ice skating, so it just doesn't
right.
resonate.
No one's close enough to it.
Are
But it
the
has the-
Olympics over now? Was that kind of the
that was
cap?
that was the final
Cool.
final
Oh, wow.
event of the Olympics. But yeah, hockey's sick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those guys made an appearance at Trump's State of the Union.
Mm. State of the Unions are funny, man. I didn't watch it because I just knew he was going to go on for 4 hours.
I didn't watch it either. He set a
Yes.
record
We had a State of the Union.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Wow.
He set a record
Where
for the longest State of the Union ever.
really?
Imagine all those old people just needing to pee.
You gotta like stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down.
How do they coordinate the standing up and sitting down? Are they in a text thread? Don't
How
stand.
long was it?
I don't know, but I mean, it was probably hours.
Hour 45.
Yeah. I was going to say a couple hours.
Not even one alfalfa pod? That's not that long.
Yeah, dude. You do that
That's not
every
that
Wednesday,
long.
pal.
Come on, dude. Step it up, Trumpy.
I saw like an op-ed by one of the ex speechwriters who has written several State of the Union addresses. He's like, it's the worst address to kind of speech write because what ends up happening is like 30 people want their like little sentence in there. And so instead of becoming this great historical speech, it ends up just becoming like a committee speech and everyone gets their little pieces in. And yeah, so I don't know.
What is the state of our union? What was the synthesis? I mean, I'm not going to watch the whole thing.
I'd imagine it had something to go with America is strong. The state of our union is strong.
I noticed
Any of
they-
you get a
I saw
summary?
a synopsis. I thought something that stood out to me is that there wasn't any conversation about what's going on in Iran.
There was not.
There was not,
Hmm.
other than one line saying there will not be nuclear weapons in Iran. But that was it.
Was there, do you know if there's any commentary about the Supreme Court ruling on tariffs, considering they were in the front row? Like, I was thinking he'd throw something
Those
at
are
him.
all his boys. He handpicked a lot of them,
Yeah.
and they're all front row.
Yep. And they ruled against him.
Yeah. No, I just
Didn't-
thought that was going to be scenes. I didn't actually watch it myself.
My business partner told me that Elizabeth Warren stood up and clapped for one of Trump's statements.
Wow, wow,
He
wee, wah.
talked about banning, I think it was stock trading for Congress. And she gave a standing ovation for that. It's funny, it doesn't ban it for the executive branch, just Congress.
How the hell are we gonna we're gonna have to trade ourselves without following
Yeah,
Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
saw about it. I didn't really like look up
Right.
any.
I forgot to get ice. I'll be right back.
Okay. Wait, are you gonna?
Would you like some?
No, I'm okay. I'm good. It's all good.
Ice for our white wine? I'm good, man.
Yeah, what is that? Anything else from there that you saw in the synopsis?
No, I try to avoid politics.
It seems like it's like a 2-hour commercial for the president, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like some have more substance than others, but you would imagine, like I would imagine, you'd see Donald Trump's and it'd just be like him taking the moment to just embrace all eyes on him.
Yeah, I think that's why they still do it, because legally they don't have to do it, but you take it because you have the country's captive attention.
Yes. Yeah, I can't imagine there.
I'm just imagining the teleprompter guy or girl trying to stay on track with Trump for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, he's just like
he does the weave and he's
digressing.
like, "Fuck, where are we in the speech? Should I advance? Should I stay here?"
Yeah.
All right, you got your ice, sir?
Yep.
Nice.
Welcome back, my friend.
I'm switching to hard A.
Okay.
Which direction? You're going whiskey?
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna get good then.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
All right. I really want to
go.
talk about this article with you guys.
No.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting to talk about this. with you
This
guys.
article, I want you to just give the preamble, but this was
first of all, if you've been listening to Alfalfa for the last few
How many
years,
times have we said the name
Citrini, right? And it came out and I texted them. I was like, this feels like a must read. And then like later that night, it just got blown up on Twitter, and things have got blown up on Twitter before. And then the next morning, I think I had like CNBC on the radio or something, and it got mentioned every half hour, and the market opened down, and people were saying it was because of this article. And I was like, holy shit.
market was open 1.8% down, but all the names that Citrini mentioned were down like 8%.
Yeah. And this is like American Express, I think Capital One, Visa was down a little bit. DoorDash was down.
DoorDash, he mentioned like the travel booking agent sites.
Those were down.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just wild to see some kind of like niche thing that we've been following. And then people on Bloomberg being like, article by Srini Research. And yeah, they were like all confused, like they never heard about it before. But it basically hit all the prime news outlets, the business news ones, every half hour. Basically every segment had a mention of it.
They're still talking about it today.
Yeah, today even.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that was interesting that it got so much coverage and it had such a big market impact, which maybe shows that no one knows what the fuck is going to happen. But maybe I'll give you like a 7-sentence core thesis of what this article basically mentioned.
Yeah, imagine that somebody out there hadn't heard of this thing before.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think everyone should read it. It's free. He has a paid research service, but this one he published publicly, so everyone.
And everything he puts out is good enough that we're talking about it. Like,
yeah, it's good research. Like it's
good.
always well thought out. And this one in particular, you kind of have to, it was well written and you have to like separate that away from the argument because it was so well written and it's written from the perspective of June 2028 and looking back over the last 2 years about how we've had this global intelligence crisis in which intelligence has gotten insanely cheap. So the core of his argument is that AI starts to take white collar jobs and there's a rapid collapse in white collar employment. So productivity rises, but wages and employment fall, particularly for this white collar class, which we've talked about many times in this podcast, how the top 10%
of the economy.
Yeah, they consume over 50% of the goods and services. So they're the marginal buyer of homes, restaurants, travel, like everything. And then he takes it a little step further. He says, because the jobs go so far away, consumer demand weakens, asset prices in the broader economy then ultimately suffer. And what initially looks like a productivity boom morphs into an economic crisis. And the main problem here, and actually, can you put up this screen? And maybe Armand, can you zoom in on that picture real quick? We don't have to describe what's going on in the diagram, but we'll just leave it up on the screen. On the left, you have like a traditional recession. So, jobs go away, demand softens, and then eventually there's some kind of resurgence of demand. Things kind of reach equilibrium and the jobs come back. And the big catch about this article was he says there's no break. So if AI takes jobs, that will create more margin in which invests in more AI, which then takes more jobs. And then even if you have this huge recession, he's basically saying those jobs aren't coming back. Like the whole reason we had a recession because those jobs aren't needed anymore. And I think this is where people got a little doomsy about it because there's no way out about it. And we all have probably thoughts on it. I don't know how you want to approach it. We can steel man it and then straw man it, like give the reason why it could happen and
All
give
the mans.
reasons why it couldn't.
I love the framing. It's like, what if the AI bulls are right and this is bearish?
Right.
Yeah.
It's holding the opposites, as Mr. Jung would say. I think he's threading the needle in a way that, like, there's always been this, like, one of two ways black and white scenario. And he's like, but what if you held both of these simultaneously?
Yeah, I mean, and it was
what
just,
would that world look
it's written
like?
as a story that as if
Yeah,
it
it's a
already
prophecy.
happened. Yeah.
It's like
Can we actually go further into what he describes happening before we give our analysis?
Sure, you're right.
Yeah.
There's deeper parts of it. I would like to skip the friction part, but you can touch on it if you want.
10%
I'll touch on like the how it turns into financial crisis. So obviously, if people start losing their jobs enough, demand weakens, and we have this deflationary kind of thing where all asset prices, not just stocks, but maybe the value of your home goes down, maybe the value of your car goes down, maybe the value of your business goes down. And when that happens, the debt stays the same level when all those values go down. So it could trigger a mortgage crisis. It could trigger, he particularly talks about a private loan crisis in which there's a whole new asset class of private lending that involves lending to larger businesses. And it's very opaque. It's not this transparent.
Right. It's like private equity companies lending to SaaS companies in particular. And that breaks when that money is no longer good.
Yeah. And so you have pension funds, you have insurance companies that are taking a section of their portfolio and allocating to these private credit funds, which are basically loans to SaaS companies. And obviously, if those SaaS companies lose in value or lose their cash flows, then they're not able to service the debt. And that kind of triggers this kind of, I think he called it like a daisy chain of correlated bets.
A daisy chain of correlated bets is so good.
Yeah. So, I could definitely see it with home prices.
Yeah. Okay. So
and as an example, he says San Francisco, Austin, and was it New York? I forget. There was a third city. Oh, Seattle. Home prices declined by like over 10% because the white collar
this is all software jobs.
Yeah. And he goes a little further to say not just that the $180,000 product manager not only loses his job, but when he goes to look for a job, the only job available for him is, let's call it a $60,000 DoorDash job. And he says that's until robots and autonomous cars. But he's like, for now, they have that. And there's a place for them there. And we've talked a little bit about this deflationary scenario where.
And their debt used to be good.
Yeah, and it was like guaranteed, right? These people's debt.
They're 780 FICO score.
So these are 780 FICO score prime mortgages that
are no longer.
That are, prime mortgages are guaranteed by the U.S. government. These are like agency backed. So these are like, Fannie and Freddie backed. So they are money good for an investor until nobody pays, and then what?
Yeah.
I guess what Citrini's showing is like. There is a bit of a house of cards here, and there are some shadows that lurk that we might not be aware of.
Yeah, and the article starts off with I think it's like June of 2028. He's like, the unemployment rate just ticked up to 10.3%, and the S&P 500 is down 37-ish% from its highs of like October 2027, roughly. I forget the exact numbers there, which is wild. So he's saying we have over 10% unemployment, and it's from these high-paying white-collar jobs. And so, do you want to talk about the frictionless part? Because I don't find it that
we can skip over that. I think an interesting part that he goes into is sort of like a sovereign crisis. It's like a global. He talks about a country like India, where it's like totally service-based, or you're like a call center operator, and then now that
IT services.
But he's extrapolating something that's already true today. Like he's taking these things. I think that's what made the whole thing so convincing. Like you're already seeing indications of this from AI fear in the Indian IT market.
Totally, these are all bits we've been talking about. He just put it together in like a narrative, and we were like, narrative. And he basically said Indian economy 0.
Yeah,
he was like the whole IT services industry, like you said, call centers. We used to work with like a IT, like a development firm in India like years ago, and I was just when I woke up next morning, I went to my business partner. I was like, "That company, yeah, toast, like
They're done.
like zero. Not even like, oh, we're down a little bit. Like you don't exist anymore."
Yeah,
There
well,
was that story about procurement.
What was the
Like, hey, like we're not going to renew.
Oh,
We'll just build in house.
yeah, that was part of like SaaS
expands
destruction.
To, yeah.
So basically,
Another
there's
thing that we were seeing.
there's like a $3 million SaaS renewal, and the CTO goes to them and says, "Well, we actually just talked to one of OpenAI's forward deployed engineers, and we're basically weighing if we should just build this ourselves and replace you completely." And in there, he gets an immediate 30% discount to renew,
Yeah.
so they can just keep the
which
business.
historically has always happened, but maybe not 30%.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is happening today.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the justifiable part that is driving the IGV, getting smacked. The software ETF is getting smacked. And I think that part is justifiable.
I mean, that's already happened. So
Yeah.
you don't need to like, predict that far out. It's a question of whether, the analysts, the project managers, all the white collar critical thinking work, will actually go away. And it doesn't all have to go away. It just has to go away at the margin, right? So you take like, I don't know, 5 or 10% haircut off those people, and prices determined at the margins, the home prices, the car values, like all goods
Agreed.
and services and assets. So if you take away the marginal buyer and there's no bid, those assets you could argue could very easily go down 10% plus.
Agree. And I think the speed at which they're displaced is also critically important.
Yeah, the speed and the diffusion part I want to talk about later.
Okay, let's table that. I
Yeah.
think the next component that I found really interesting is like, I don't know if this is my own color that I added to it or if this is his stuff, but we talked about like how our own politics responds to this crisis, right? So
It's I think the biggest part of this whole story.
it's so interesting.
So what do you remember what he said in it? Was it slow and it basically became political,
Mhm.
right? So he envisioned a place where all the money is centralizing around these AI companies, people selling tokens or people in the selling token supply chain,
Right.
while middle class America is just losing. And they're very clear that like, yes, this will create winners and losers, and the system no longer functions. So then you have
the wealth disparity widens to an even more extreme degree,
right.
where like early investors in the hyperscalers or the token generators become insanely wealthy.
Right. And it's to the point where it's politically unsustainable. So then you're going to have proposals of like, okay, well then we need to do a inference tax or a AI tax. And he says, we do need a solution, but we never get to one because on the right, they're saying, oh, this is communism. And on the left, it's not enough. And just no decision actually gets made. And, societal collapse continues.
This part is the most interesting to me.
Which
Like-
we should caveat that he said this is a scenario narrative, not their prediction.
Totally.
Yeah.
Also caveat that I think he was buying some of these names after he wrote this article, right?
Right.
So
And I wrote down some notes on his
Did you guys think
actual
the Moats
portfolio.
discussion was interesting?
Which part was that?
Just like that the moats are made of friction. I think this was like a really interesting observation.
I mean, maybe one for people
enterprise value is built on the assumption humans are lazy, inattentive, bound to habits.
let's go there. Yeah.
Yeah, like
keep going.
switching
the
costs.
DoorDash moat, that you're hungry. This is the app on your home screen, and that the AI agent has no home screen. Like, there's this huge emphasis on the software.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to pick apart was like, I think there was an overemphasis on the software and the friction of that being reduced. Like every analogy, even the previous one we just made, is like, no thanks, I'm not going to renew. I'll build it myself. But that's like taking away a lot of the value of the software stack and placing it directly only on the technology. Nothing to do with the orchestration, the distribution, the customers, the partnerships that exist for DoorDash. Like DoorDash is not just an app.
It's a network.
It's a network. It's got real network
Yeah.
effects. It's a marketplace.
This reminded me of the conversation. I forget. We're obviously having an AI conversation.
And those are very difficult to create overnight.
Right. And
very, very difficult.
that's one of the key rebuttals of this thing. But
that's-
one of the parts was, I think there was a conversation where we all ended up like, shit, there might only be 5 UIs. You might just have Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, Apple, and those are the UIs. And then
they're not even UIs, they're OSs.
yeah, they're just like the
Operating
agent
systems.
operating system. And you
Totally.
say, I need a back to school shopping for Jimmy. And it just does it.
Yes, like
'Cause it
why
knows
would,
your preferences.
Like, why would there be disintermediation between the consumer and the seller that's willing to sell at the lowest price? Like, why is there a seller that's willing to sell at the lowest price and me a buyer, and I can't find him and he can't find me?
And that's where that
that's
agent power
absurd.
comes in. Yeah.
And like the fact that a robot can just like relentlessly search for that and remove whatever middleman exists today is a net positive for society, but it's a clear negative for
For this company.
these middlemen.
Yeah. So he's saying in the DoorDash example, we have habits. We just open up the app. We click the button. Our credit card's
Yeah.
loaded. It's easy. There's switching costs. I don't have to think. But the agent's going to be like, well, there's actually 7 different, apps, and I could go direct to the restaurant. So I'll do all the work. And it went so far as to say, not only will I do all the work to find the lowest cost provider, but I don't even want to use Visa or MasterCard's rails because they're going to charge 2.5%. So this company has another agent on their side, and I'm going to just transact them in stable coins because there's a $0.001 transaction fee,
Yeah.
which, for anyone who's been still lingering on to crypto, might give you a little sign of hope.
We're
little,
so bad.
little flutter of the heart. So that was wild. And like that kind of makes sense. Like you could see a world in which that eventually gets to a point where the market is just almost aggressively efficient.
I think so. I think of like just for me personally, I don't use DoorDash very often, but like booking flights is always this like weird, inefficient process where I'm like, I don't understand the pricing model that you're using, but on any given day, it can
All
be
the
cheaper.
UIs suck.
Yeah, all UIs
of the
suck.
websites are archaic.
And it seems gamified to where if I'm not like browsing incognito, then
Yeah.
you'll like jack the price
South
on me.
Africa VPN,
Yeah.
different price. Like,
So I just feel like agents are just so perfect for this. Just like
so perfect.
get me the best.
And we
deal.
talked about a world where all these services and products turn to APIs that the agent just interacts with. And so
Yeah.
he played out that story.
And
And
from a technical perspective, not to go like in a different direction, but I think we're trying to identify as an industry, like, is it the MCPs that are actually the connectors?
right.
Or are these actually like really fragile? And it's really actually going to all go back to web search. Like there are some pretty strong opinions out there right now.
What does that MCP mean for a layperson?
Model context
Well,
protocol.
what does it mean to like in
Think
like,
of it as
real
like
terms?
a way to take the information that exists on a website and expose it to an agent in a
so
way
like
that it understands.
in like a computer language.
Yeah, in an agent language,
Okay.
like a way to take the API and that language that exists, or that information that exists, and make it usable for
Okay.
the agent, so they can extract
Yeah, and
the knowledge.
In e-commerce land, people are already talking about that. Like, how do you make your website navigable for agents? How do you give agents all the core information it needs to know what your product is, like the price, the return policy, the shipping cost, the weight, all the specs that it needs to make a decision. But so that could be one way, or you're just
Yeah.
saying it just searches the web as it is already.
I think web search is so stable. It's since the beginning we've
Yeah.
had it. It's in it, and it's like a sort of, maybe it's slower, maybe it feels more archaic in an AI world, but I think we're finding like the fragility of MCPs at times. But anyway, there's work to be done there in terms of how this information flows.
Can I ask a question?
But-
Like, is the question that you're asking like whether or not the agents adapt to learn human readable stuff, or we adapt to make internet
Basically.
agent readable?
Yes, essentially.
Yeah. I think that the agents are gonna have to learn human shit.
Yeah.
They will, but like if me as a business play out the game theory, if I get an advantage by giving it agent
By
readable
stepping
stuff,
up. Yeah.
Oh,
you
right.
play the game theory out, then everyone just gives the
You already
agent.
just showed me some of your tools today where
Yeah.
you're talking in agent language.
So I think that's most of what the article covers.
Yeah, so I'm
Um,
curious where you guys are at with it. Like, was it accurate for you? What'd you think of the timeline? What'd you think of the actual like forecast?
Yeah, he
scenario?
described this as happening in 2028. What like
So I got so the co-author, who's not part of Citrini, I forget his name. He's on the article. He did an interview on Bloomberg, and they're like, "Why that timeline?" And he said, "Well, our goal with this was to start conversation. So we picked a timeline that wasn't too close where people wouldn't believe it, but it wasn't too far where they wouldn't take it. They would take it seriously."
yeah.
It's just like the AI 2028.
Yeah, 2027. Yeah,
2027. It's very similar, but because I think he uses so much more of this like financial literacy and specifics to spell out these situations, and it's not just storytelling only, it landed better.
yeah. I mean, it was very specific and it was very well thought
Very
out.
specific. For me, too fast, too clean, too frictionless
Yes,
to get there.
I agree. I think that's the biggest argument
Timeline too
against it.
tight, like too fast, too clean.
You talked about it either last week or 2 weeks ago. You said the diffusion argument that like the pace at which technology just needs time to diffuse throughout the economy
Through people.
like at a
Yeah.
company where decisions have to be made, people have to test things and try it and get budget. And then certain industries have bureaucracy you were talking about.
Yeah,
I think that's actually the biggest.
We treat it like this technology, it is a beast of its own. And there is aspects of it that are exclusive to humans and what we are able to throttle in terms of the pace of its development. Like AI is obviously like we humans have a relationship with the pace of AI development. It is an entity that grows by itself to a certain degree, but without humans, it's not going anywhere. So there is a symbiosis that exists
Yeah.
fundamentally. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not like a living organism that is going to move on its own and adopt amongst human beings without some level of, adaptation, acknowledgement, desire.
Yeah.
And then on an enterprise level, it's a completely different story. I'm talking on a consumer level.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'm also talking about like the labs and like their pace of development. Now, what drives their pace of development where it feels out of control sometimes is competition.
Right.
Because of that competition, sometimes it feels like AI is evolving by itself.
They're like, it has to.
It has to.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
You know what I find fascinating that's not part of the counter argument that maybe, makes me think this will come true is no one's saying the technology is not good enough. That, it can't do these jobs.
Well, there are many of those people still out there, but they're quieter now.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
happened to all the?
No, I agree with that point because I was reading the comment section of Satriani's Substack,
Mhm.
and everybody there, even if they're offering rebuttals, they're like, "Okay, so we know this is happening. It's just a matter of when."
Yeah, and so a year ago
that's new to me. I felt like that was still a huge corner of the market. The like, this is bullshit. Don't worry. I mean, there's still big voices
I heard
out
people
there.
like that. They're like, it ain't going to take all the jobs. And I was like, you just probably haven't played with the technology in the last 6 weeks. Because
Yeah.
if you haven't,
Yeah.
you very well believe that. And
My bigger gripe, and I have so many. I actually want to go. I don't want to derail your convo.
no. I mean, if you just want to go against,
There's
tell
so
me
many.
why it wouldn't happen. Because
I even want to write my own essay that's it's like the mirror image inverse of this, and it's playing out a scenario that I think is also plausible where everything goes right.
okay. Can you lead us down that path a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you have it played out in your mind, or are you just saying you want to?
Everything goes right
Everything goes right.
for who?
For
Yeah.
well,
He's like, for my portfolio.
yeah, my portfolio for one.
Or what class of citizen, sir? Or a participant in?
I think where everything goes right means that this is a technological innovation and evolution like every other one ever. So that means going right, where it doesn't disrupt society in the way that this image where it says that the feedback loop is
Okay.
irreconcilable.
Can you argue against that point though? Because as white collar layoffs increase, displaced workers spend less.
I mean,
The technology itself is fun. The thing that he did well is he made it clear that this technology is different than all the previous analogies we've used to say it's going to be fine.
Agree.
because
This
it's
is-
displacing.
I mean, he's also smart as fuck. And he's like so good. And he's so good at telling a story that this story makes sense. I'm not saying that this is not going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. But what I know that I would argue against in this image is that on the right side, it doesn't say anything about creating new demand, which we have created in every single technological innovation
if
has
I remember
created.
correctly, he addresses it somewhat. The demand increase isn't possible because the AI is displacing it as the technology is kind of like rolling out.
When workers get displaced and they have all the tools available at their fucking fingertips, you don't think that they can do anything with that?
No, I think they can do something.
Of course.
I agree with that.
Of course. So what I'm saying is new demand can be created, which is in the bottom of the right side here. It says economy weakens. Economy weakens only if and only if all the displaced workers go and be DoorDash drivers, and then DoorDash gets displaced, and now they're twiddling their thumbs with nothing to do. I think these people are innovative. I believe in American exceptionalism. I believe that all these people can find, using these tools, find ways to create
All right, let me
productivity.
steel man you because I wrote down. It's funny. I wrote down the question: can AI create demand as fast as it destructs it? I think that's like a critical question. And can it create demand for the middle class, or does it just create more demand for tokens? So anyway, you're right. Like when the internet came out, newspapers got destroyed. A lot of retail got destroyed, but we got SaaS, the influencer economy, e-commerce stuff.
Right, and I want to pause you there because over the last episode or two, we've talked about SaaS and we've talked about software, and I perhaps mistakenly have been saying things like, well, some software will be displaced, some of it's baby getting thrown out of the bathwater. I imagine that's like what people were saying about newspapers during the .com era. They're like, well, the incumbents are going to be the best at broadening their content reach.
Yeah.
Meaning like newspapers are going to get
And
more
the reality
audience.
is they're just not there anymore.
Yeah,
It's
they're
something
not.
different.
Yeah, it's something new.
It's something new. Yeah. There isn't even that class of product anymore.
So the
It's
other
all
argument
software.
is that it destroys, let's say it destroys 60% of demand, but it actually destroys 60% of one person's work. So like the person still has a job and they're not worth as much, which is not just as bad as, jobs going away, but it augments them and they're able to produce more, but they still have a job, but it may be like 30% less than what they were getting paid before. The other thing is like it lowers the cost of things.
I mean, that's first of all, that's in the near term, and that's only in the immediate term.
Yeah,
I think in the long term, what I'm thinking is that if your job is getting displaced by AI, like maybe it wasn't that useful to begin with, and like maybe, just maybe, as like an optimist, there's like a better use for our humanity and skill set.
All right, that was a shitty example. I got two more arguments that why you might be right. What was that Jevons paradox thing? Like imagine the price of
goes down, demand
legal,
goes up.
medical, marketing spend, software creates more demand for it, but I still think it creates more demand for tokens, not
agreed.
humans.
Yep.
And the last one would be new industries. So like robotics, energy, compute, biotech, space are things that would like flourish, capital flow to those industries. I don't know if they're going to create as many jobs as you need to keep up with the demand destruction.
I think so. I mean, let's just think of like robotics. I mean, I don't know. Do you have any comments on this? Because I don't want to like just take that and then go.
No,
too
it
deep
was
in
just
the
like,
weeds.
okay, there's going to be new industries that there are going to be winners, and we'll talk about the winners and maybe like what the trade is or the investment is later. But that would clearly be the next step.
Like there's going to be human ingenuity used to help steer the robots. Like if we just say
Yeah,
that,
but
like
it's a tiny percentage of the humans that are currently
Yeah.
productive today. That's the difference.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
agree.
displacement.
and the speed at which they're displaced.
I agree with you.
It's faster than they can adapt or retrain.
Right.
2 or 20 years, but it's happening. Directionally, I think the entire argument is correct.
Yes.
I don't know if it's 2 or 20.
Yes.
My gut says like 7.
Yeah. I think.
Like,
Okay, so
it's not 2. It's probably.
let me try to paraphrase just to make sure that I understand that there will be a reckoning of sorts, which is an adjustment phase from where we are today, meaning like laborers are broadly employed, to that next phase where it's like, holy shit, AI and robots are doing a lot of the jobs that we were used to doing as humans.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that what you were saying is that it probably extends beyond 2028, like the article suggests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And also the pace at which labor gets displaced creates something really nasty for the economy into a deep recession or something, because white collar.
I think we'll have time to react to it. That's what I'm trying to say. I think we'll have time to react to it. I think the moment that the displacement causes a problem and unemployment ticks up, the conversation will change. By the next election cycle, that's what the president or whoever, of that state is going to be running on. I think that it'll get solved very rapidly. And I don't think that people will move at the same percentage cohort that got displaced to being productive in a new way. That's where I disagree. I don't think there are ways that are going to be productive in society economically in the way that there were in the past, because I think AI will do everything that was economically productive better than humans will. So I'm talking about a creativity that is at a spiritual level that exists, a creative level that exists, not the kind of productivity that drives an economy. So if you're talking about like humans will come up with a new way to be productive and be part of the labor market, I don't think we'll see that in the same way that we have in the past, where we displaced one function for another.
Well, I think the GDP can go off the charts. Like our productivity can go.
GDP can.
Yeah, like productivity can go off the charts.
Yeah.
And then humans will need to find a way to get purpose in their lives.
There we go. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that happens later than 2028. And I also
that'll take time.
And I also agree with you that the political instability that's caused by AI is going to make what we're seeing today look like child's play.
I agree.
Yeah.
I want to leave that for the end, because I think that's where this ends regardless.
That's the most fun part of the convo, in a scary way.
Maybe this is a whole other episode, but like the purposelessness of people.
Good one. Yeah.
Has to be something we start talking about.
Good one.
So, I mean, I'm on the camp that this is right. Mostly.
I'm on the camp that this is right as well.
But it'll be slower than it predicts.
Okay, and also, like when I say right, I think what this article does well is that it describes everything happening because of what preceded it. So it's like a domino effect. If a certain domino doesn't fall from this article, then a lot doesn't happen.
Well, the debate is also, can our institutions react and prevent a lot of the downfalls?
Well, here's like an example. I think that the mortgage market might be okay. Like this was like necessitated by all prime mortgage borrowers getting displaced.
Just crushed.
I think some do, but I think most stay, particularly within his timeline. I just don't think that maybe private credit turns out to be fine. Probably does.
Yeah.
It probably does. So like,
I think private credit is fine.
So like his whole economic instability narrative might not come to be, because it's all this like cascading domino effect, the daisy chain of events might not come to be.
But I mean, forget this article. If you just like plot out everything we've talked about for the last 6 weeks, this is it. Just like put into like a timeline. Like we've agreed that this is highly deflationary. But we've also agreed that like corporate profits are going to go up, their operational margins are going to go up, asset prices will go up. So to me, I think this is right. And I think what we see is like a lift off of earnings, high productivity. Followed by
hold on, I want
a terrible demand collapse.
Can I take this point further?
Yeah.
But it's going to derail everything we're talking about.
Derail me.
Yeah,
dude.
go ahead.
Derail me. That's what we do here.
Okay. So
that'd be a good song title.
Derail me.
Yeah,
dude.
Derail me. Sounds like an Alanis Morissette song. Okay.
Okay. So everything that I'm thinking about in my life right now is this dichotomy of data that I'm interpreting now. So the dichotomy of data is like, on one hand, telling me that everything's going to shit. And on the other hand, it's telling me that everything's going to a panacea of bliss. Okay. So on the shit side, Bitcoin's down 50%. Maybe that doesn't matter.
Yeah, probably doesn't matter.
It does
It might not.
for me.
Okay, gold is going to all-time highs, which is indicating people flying to safety, like hedge against chaos, collapse, etc. You know, all these AI names that Citrini has talked about previously in a bear market downturn. You know, I actually saw this thing, this tweet that said that over the last 2 weeks, 115 of the stocks in the S&P 500 have had down 7% or more in a single day. 115 out of 500. And that's only happened a few times in history. And every time that that's happened, it's portended a 35% down in the S&P. Mm-hmm. So when you get 115 names in the S&P 500 dropping by 7% or more in a day, which is what we've had, that means that we're going into a really shitty time. So this is what I'm seeing. Okay, yeah. These are sort of like the
bro science,
the sort of chaotic. No, it's history. It's history. And the last time it happened was 2001, the dot-com bubble bursting. So that's on the negative side. On the positive side, this is the side that I sort of believe in more. But on the positive side, we have 5 consecutive quarters of S&P earnings growth, growing by double digits or more, mid-teens.
Yeah.
Mid-teens earnings growth on the S&P 500 for 5 straight quarters. So this is like a complete contradiction of all that shit that I was just talking about. It's like everything is thriving. But then you look at that earnings growth and you say, like, okay, what's driving that? 80% of it's coming from AI. Like the AI data center CapEx, and then like where that money flows through. Okay. 80% of it. So then you isolate that and you say, okay, well, this is the infrastructure build out phase. Okay, I'm still talking about the positive side.
Yeah.
So on the positive side, you have this infrastructure build out phase that's resulting in mid-teens growth on the S&P 500 for 5 straight quarters, and that's just the infrastructure side. I'm a believer in this euphoric time where the infrastructure spend continues as people build out AI, data centers, and capabilities. And then it starts to flow through to guys like you, guys who use these tools to create productivity, to enhance your business, to generate greater earnings. And you get 2 tsunamis colliding.
In a good way.
2 tsunamis combining and then hitting the shores at the same time in terms of profitability.
Before that tsunami starts, are you concerned at all about what Dario was talking about, where like if you're off by a quarter with that level of CapEx spend, like that could be catastrophic?
Yeah, that's why I was like so concerned about this NVIDIA call today.
For him, he's concerned, but for let's just say Meta and Google.
That's Microsoft. That's Meta.
They're using
OpenAI.
2026. Before they were using like 40% of their free cash flow. Then like the year after they're using like 70%, and this year they're going to use at least 100% of their free cash flow. So there's basically not too much more unless they decide to use a mass amount of debt.
No, you can use debt, and this is the
cash on hand.
I just saw that this is the first time that any of the Mag 7 had their debt exceed 1 year's worth of cash flow.
Right.
Which already is like pretty conservative. Like I'm used to
you look at any
more
quick ratio or whatever ratio you want to use, that's fine.
That's pretty conservative.
Fine. Yeah, you could go 3 to 5 times and probably still be okay.
Yeah, 1 year's cash flow. We're not talking about revenue. We're talking about cash flow.
Yeah.
So and
like most covenants on debt are like, hey, your EBITDA has to be 30% of the debt.
Well, I think what a lot of those covenants care about is like your interest payments, not your debt level. Like
just the debt service.
Yeah,
could even be
debt servicing.
Might have to be like 1.3 times EBITDA over your debt service.
So I think these guys are so well capitalized. And this part of my thesis too is that like everybody thinks this runway is like much more finite than it really is.
Mhm.
I think the infrastructure tsunami goes way further than people imagine.
So I agree
Because
with
of
you.
the trickle down of what you described.
I'm with you all the way to those tsunamis colliding and creating like, S&P 500, 8,000 something, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm picturing NASDAQ 50K.
okay, so I'm with you until guys like me and every other business are seeing so much productivity that, I mean, it's already happening where there's no job openings because you're like, well,
Okay, yeah. Okay, so pause there. Before we go there, we need to talk about today, what we're seeing now. Okay, so today, I think that people aren't ready for this combo tsunami of positivity.
it's a good time to buy.
In my opinion, it's a good time to buy when all the headlines are fear. Citrini, end of the world. Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan came out with something saying, everybody beware. Like the headlines are scary and everybody's in fear. And I think we're going into a euphoric moment. Euphoric.
I think 2026 AI wise, I'm separating from the markets. The technology is going to be the most impactful year in terms of trajectory of the future.
I agree.
Where things are going, this is the year.
Okay. So
is this because when agents become a thing, when things
I
autonomously
think everyone
take
has been
actions?
saying like recursive self-improvement is the thing and we're waiting for it and all the labs are already there.
They're doing it.
I just don't think people know that yet.
Yeah. And is that from like when I chat with Claude, is it recursively learning, or you mean that like
the model companies are using their existing models to build the new models?
Okay, yeah, I see.
And I don't think people understand that we're already there.
Yeah.
So if that was the breakthrough,
This is like the liftoff moment.
The liftoff.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think this is like the chat GPT-esque moment for agents. Like we're reaching that level, which is going to then spur what I'm considering the next tsunami. The next tsunami is actual productivity.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which is good for earnings.
Yeah.
Historically amazing for earnings.
Before we get to that next phase, let's just talk about this phase. And I feel like everybody's bearish.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening right now is a double tsunami of positivity in the face of extreme bearishness.
Yeah, I think like next quarter when Salesforce still shows earnings growth and ServiceNow shows earnings growth, and they're gonna be like, well, maybe it's okay.
Right.
I don't know. And then you see like
Delayed.
the Russell 2000 being like margins increased because they were actually using this technology.
Dude, Russell's going to benefit so much.
Yeah.
From the productivity tsunami.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very easy linear thought process. Like productivity goes up, earnings go up, therefore asset prices go up.
Dude,
if you have a slight multiple compression.
Well, hold on. I was just thinking about this multiple compression thing because are you guys familiar with the CAPE PE, the cyclically adjusted PE?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Robert Schiller. Robert Schiller won a fucking
course.
Nobel Prize
Of
for
course
this
you know Schiller.
stupid fuck. This is the stupidest thing on earth, and he won a Nobel Prize. And all he did,
It's not stupid of you.
it's so dumb. You know what he did? Instead of taking price divided by last 12 months earnings, let's take price divided by an average of 10 years worth of earnings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mentioned this because
Wait, that's the
difference.
I didn't know that's how it's calculated.
That's the difference.
Oh.
And you inflation adjust the denominator. But
Okay.
yeah, that's it. That's it. Nobel. Okay. So
Dude.
the CAPE PE today is in insanity territory.
Yeah.
We're at 40 times. So
Flashing red, screaming lights.
So the only time it's been higher is at 44 times in .com bubble. Okay, so what you know is that you're paying $40 for $1 of earnings for the S&P right now on the CAPE.
Trailing 10 years.
Yeah, trailing 10 years.
Okay.
Trailing 10 years. That's not necessarily damning in my mind. It is just high.
Of course not, because imagine the tail end of that 10 years is dramatically increasing because we have this productivity god entering the scene.
Dude, we're already over the last 5 quarters growing earnings at mid-teens %, and we haven't even reached productivity phase.
Right.
We're going to grow into this KPE. It's going to normalize. Stocks aren't going to look expensive.
You just got to give it 8 years for the fucking
for the CAPE.
for the Nobel formula to catch up.
Robert Schiller, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly my gripe.
Right.
But yeah, I think what we're going to find is that like prices in stocks are going to fucking moon. They're going to be justifiable based on earnings. We're all going to walk into this like this is where the bubble actually exists. This is the bubble. And then we get to the phase that you are dying to talk about. Where
and so I think you guys, I've mentioned Warren Pies before. He puts out some good charts. He's a good research guy, kind of like a Citrini. He services, I think family offices, advisors, funds, all that kind of stuff with research, saying like, hey, this is where we think things are happening.
He good.
And he published a chart, and I think it showed job openings. I could pull it up to confirm, but basically showed a chart where these two things are diverging. And he took 30 industries that are AI impacted and 30 industries that are not. And the 30 industries that are AI impacted, let's say the metric was job openings, drastically declining. It's like a jaw opening, a huge V. And the ones that aren't impacted by AI, let's assume like hospitals, most healthcare, they're fine. Job openings are kind of like steady, and the ones are impacted. So he's basically saying it's already happening. So, how long does this euphoria last for before people start freaking out that like unemployment is increasing? And then I think you'd have to see aggregate, meaning like lower K and upper K, consumer spending start to decline. And then that's to be the trigger where you'd be like, oh shit. Because right now the rich people are basically making up for the fact that the lower bottom of the K is not doing well.
So what you're describing is that this is already happening, but Armand has shared some stuff in our message that it seems like it hasn't even started.
That's AI usage.
Okay.
Yeah, so exactly. We're already seeing it in job openings, and not the whole economy hasn't even started using or paying for these tools.
Hold on, are you able to show that?
It's like 0.3% of people are me. Remember when I said I was in the 90th percentile?
Yeah,
I'm in the 99.7.
Are you able to show this chart? It's like the beauty is in the visual.
We I should say, not me.
I'll read the headline from this.
Like if you pay for AI, like you let me show it.
So it's like one of those dot charts. There's
It's my favorite thing on the internet.
8.1 billion people on Earth.
It's so
0.3% of them pay for AI, and the headline is "The opportunity is embarrassing." So basically, there's only a few percentage of people that use. Well, maybe it's bigger. Maybe it's like 15% of people using free AI.
Using free, I could see that.
Then there's like 1% or maybe a little less that are paying for like the $20 a month. And then 0.3% that are using coding scaffolding. So that's probably them, you hear about the people spending like thousands of dollars in tokens a month. Those are the people who are consuming it.
Okay.
You got it?
Got it? All right, there you go.
So
can you enhance?
I will enhance. So each dot on your screen is 3.2 million people. There's 2,500 dots, 8.1 billion. The color part is the most advanced AI interaction. Okay, let's see. We go down here.
One dot.
Dot
out of 2,500.
This is the people that use AI out of the world. The yellow, the green on your screen, which is,
yellow's paying. Yellow and red are paying.
16%
is the green.
The yellow pays, and the red, which is like where like, I don't know, I guess like my industry would sit, is 0.04%.
Okay, so this is
it's way less than I thought.
I love this too. The reason why I wanted you to bring it up is because we're looking at the orange and the red right now as people who pay for AI.
This is who we keep thinking about and talking to.
This is 7 dots out of 2,500.
Right.
And Nick is saying that the bottom K is getting displaced already, and it is not because of these 7 dots.
No, they're not getting displaced. They're just no new opportunities yet. That's at the first leading edge of this.
I don't think it has anything to do with 7. No one's using this. No businesses are using this.
All right, you want to like critique this thing? Like, okay, first of all, this is
happening
all
anyways.
8 billion people on the earth. So let's fractionalize this to like just the, I don't know, the developed economies. So you chop that down by a third, right? And then you go, okay, well, how many of the job employers are on this? And then it's going to be a lot higher percentage, all right? So yes, it is right. But you want to really bring down the argument, you have to like apples to apples comparison.
Is the United
here.
States just the whole green?
Yes.
The United States. Everybody in the US is using it.
Yeah.
It's
So
all that.
So then let's just,
Yeah.
but yeah, is the opportunity for AI to like get a lot more users? Yes. But I don't think it says anything about, you know, how fast people are going to lose their jobs, because that red might be all the job employers,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's going to be a higher concentration of them for sure.
Of course. So I agree with you. We could see like this magnificent run up, and I'm ready for it. Bets are placed, but I think we need to know what could happen. And in that case, a deflationary scenario is way worse than an inflationary scenario. Like deflationary scenario, maybe we could start talking about where we would place the bets, because like,
Let's do that. Okay, so let's talk about the deflationary scenario. That's like what Citrini's talking about.
yeah, people lose jobs, they make less money, so they can pay less for goods. So that creates less demand. Supply has to normalize.
So
People exit the market. Companies go out of business.
right, housing prices come down.
You can't get loans for anything. So just the economy just like lowers.
Yeah, I know a lot
And-
of people have been waiting for this though. A lot of guys with like cash.
So if you're like a senior citizen on fixed income, this is like ideal, right? Because you get a set fixed amount of money, and everything got more expensive, and now everything could potentially get a lot cheaper. This would be like a good scenario for that person.
I think there's a lot of well, I don't know. This is like a small cohort in my mind, but there are people who are about our age but missed the opportunity to home buy in 2009, and they're like, oh, I've just been waiting for that opportunity.
This
again.
could be your opportunity.
I have cash ready. I'm just waiting for a dip in housing.
I think like, yeah, you could time this spectacularly, and not only will the house value go down, but the mortgage rates will go down
Talking
with
about
it.
after your tsunami.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's your version of that?
Well, I think I agree. I think we're talking about it now, but I agree. I think I just want to talk about the beautiful scenario that happens first, because it does. And so Trini talked about this thing happening in 2028. I don't think it does. I think in 2028, we're going to live in
And to Armand's point, this could happen in stages too, where like one industry gets happen the first half of 2027, and then another industry is like the third quarter 20. It's not all at once. Like it could happen over like 5 years.
agree. But let's keep talking
Okay.
about.
So in a deflationary scenario, typically the things you want to hold are cash and long dated bonds, right? Because cash is the only thing, you know, your purchasing power goes up as you just hold cash.
Yeah. You just don't
The
spend
game
it.
literally flips suddenly.
Right. It flips to
Yeah.
everything we didn't want to hold.
Didn't want to hold.
And you typically don't want to hold any assets, but you could argue in this scenario, you still may want to allocate towards chips and wafers.
Interesting.
So
you have
like
to be ready to shift very quickly.
that's what's scary about
It's
it.
very
because
scary.
like if he's
And like I'm a conservative investor in terms of like how rapidly I'm like willing to trade a huge percentage of my
we're
portfolio.
mostly passive, right? So like
Well, I have been, but everything has been changing. Like last year was the first time I suddenly started shifting huge amounts of my portfolio
yeah.
from one asset to another. Like I sold in the winter, right? Like all that crypto.
From crypto, yeah.
From crypto. I just got out, but like
Nice move.
the whole world has changed in ways. So I guess that takes me from like inflation hedges to deflationary, like, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so during deflationary, as Nick was describing, you'd want to hold cash because your buying power's improving as you just don't do anything.
You're making money by
You're making money by
not
holding
losing
cash. Yeah. And also
stable coins
yeah.
well, stablecoins that are yielding. I think
that
like
are
Nick,
yielding. Yeah.
Nick mentioned long-term bonds. This is like perfect for long-term bonds because if you can lock in at like a higher rate as everything's fucking cratering, then that's
And forget the interest, is that the par value will go up. Like your money will grow.
Yep.
You know, it could grow by 10, 20% during a deflationary collapse.
Yep.
The part I don't get about that argument still is that, and this is where this all mixes for me. So is the economy still growing in that scenario? So you have a demand collapse of the middle class, but are these like token sellers and that supply chain growing so incredibly fast?
Goes GDP.
That is GDP going up, or is all demand derived demand? I mean, is like everything sold in the economy comes eventually back to like a consumer buying a thing, and if they don't have a job, they don't buy the thing, and it's a like a domino effect to like even down to the token sellers.
I think that's absolutely true.
Okay,
like
so then we are fucked.
in Citrini's article, he mentions that like the people who invested in the right stuff got rich. I think that's to my thesis, but then when the tide goes out, everybody loses.
Everyone gets torched, and
Yeah.
you could obviously go short things, which sounds dangerous, but that's another thing in deflationary thing. You could try to play that game.
Yeah.
I won't be playing that game.
Same.
So yeah, anyway, that's it. That's the only thing that works in a deflationary.
Under
Those two
deflationary.
things.
But like what happened, like let's just keep playing this. Like what happens if we get a deflationary regime, then what's likely to happen?
Okay. So go back to our chart where there's no break. It's not a circle. It's just a spiral downward where those jobs never come back. Because why would you, if you're a business,
Those
barely
jobs, yeah.
struggling to survive, and you have this AI thing that's making you
You're gonna
efficient?
invest more in AI.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to be like, you know what we should do? We should go
The best
hire back
part-
those
the
more
best part of the
expensive.
story is AI gets better. You know,
Right.
I mean, not the best part for people, but that was the interesting.
So you
part
could
of
have
the
like an
story.
equilibrium shift at
Oh, I was
a lower
I
level.
was taking a different direction. I was going to say that when you get into a deflationary environment, the government
Or you wanna talk-
is going to try to stimulate the economy.
Okay, so let me bring up a point from his article. So imagine a world. Okay, we're already at running 6%, 7% deficits. All right, so we're already like we're borrowing money during a boom time. You could argue we're not at war right now, so it's not wartime.
A lot of cold ones.
Yeah, a lot of cold ones, but we're not in like a hot war. So typically you go in deficit when you're in a recession or you're at war. We're in none of those things, and we're already in a huge deficit. Okay, where does the government get the money if all the jobs and wages go down, and maybe the companies are just crushing in profits, but C Corps don't pay as much money? They have lower tax rates, and also there's a lot of tax tricks like fucking depreciation on your GPUs and all that R&D spending on AI. Like you get a lot of credits, and so what'll happen is that the government just, even though the economy and GDP will go up, the government will collect less money.
so much less.
So much less. Like think about your own paycheck. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know, in California, let's say the federal government takes like 36%, and then California takes 13%. But on a C Corp, the government's collecting 10%, maybe, if on the paper profits. And the states don't. I don't know. Do the states collect on C Corps?
I don't know what the split is on the federal side between like personal income taxes versus corporate, but I'm assuming it's much higher on personal.
Much higher.
Yeah, it's
Much
like
higher.
the
So just by
majority.
that, but then you think about all the ways that like C Corps have to shield themselves.
of course.
Like CapEx, they can use depreciation to wipe out all those profits for years on end.
Okay, so let's go back to like how you would invest under this scenario.
Okay, so then in that scenario, the government still has to respond, right? You're up for president. You better do
Yep.
something. So the deficit goes like, let's call it negative 15%, negative 10%.
And you have to service it. So
And
what
you-
do you do?
Ooh, you issue. The only way you can do is issue bonds, and
Create a fuckload of money. You create a fuckload of money.
and then the Federal Reserve is forced to buy it.
yes. And then what happens? Gold goes to the moon.
What
So it
about
goes
Bitcoin?
Back.
Bitcoin probably too.
So is
But
that
Bitcoin doesn't do what gold
and it's
does.
inflationary on purpose because you're in a deflation. You want inflation.
Yeah. You're like trying to get it back.
Yeah, you're trying to get it back. And it's funny, this deflationary period, I mean, the Fed can act a lot faster than the federal government, right? They can buy assets like that. Like by tomorrow, they could start buying assets and announce it. But the federal government can't probably act fast enough.
Okay, so let me just reiterate too. There's a short window in which you want to hold cash and long-term
It doesn't
bonds.
last that long, right?
Right. It's in this deflationary window that hasn't been responded to yet. And that might be like 6-12 months, and then
or less.
and then I think you better get the fuck out of that.
I think in the article it describes a scenario where there's like violence or protesters outside of OpenAI's and Anthropic's offices.
Absolutely.
I'd imagine on that day, and when unemployment crosses like 7%, and there's an election on the horizon, they actually get their shit together, and it's not a restructuring of the tax code in a very smart, intelligent, sustainable way. It's just like dump money, like save the labor. They'll come up with some acronym, and then it'll be like,
I like that you're gonna do
MAGA.
one. Yeah, he was gonna do it right now.
they probably have like an acronym generator. It's like, well, who are you trying to get votes
AI
from?
will take care of that.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly. Like into Claude, I'm trying to get votes from middle class people.
Yeah.
What should I title this
should I
bill?
do?
Make it catchy and make it 5 letters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they will
Make no mistakes.
Yeah, make no mistakes. That's the best
Make no
context.
mistakes is the meme of the year. Yeah.
So the Fed will react, or the government will react, will monetize the debt, but will still be the cleanest sheet in the laundry because we can print our own dollars.
At least we generate tokens. What are the guys doing that don't even have the ability to tax their corporates?
India to zero.
India to zero.
And you can't print more money.
So what do you do with like the new world countries? Yeah, like Dubai.
They better have their own.
They better make their own tokens.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're start selling tokens.
Wow. Well, I thought you guys should know.
Yeah.
This is such a good combo. Y'all representing the ethos of Alfalfa from Carby.
Hey,
Chat.
Corby.
Thanks.
Wish you were here for the chat, bud. Okay, so we just described.
And Marty's 4xing because I challenged him from 3x
To catch up.
4x. So
I want to challenge Marty to 1x.
No,
Can
he
you just
can't.
like live
No, 'cause
in like the present?
we would sound way too dumb. We would sound way too dumb. Like to him, like our normal is 2.5x. So, you know.
He's a Mensa weirdo, dude. Just like try to be normal for a little bit.
He can't. He can only process like high bandwidth.
All right, so like let's say we have these 3 phases, and catching the phase is where I get fucked as a personal investor because like you're attentive to it in the first negative headline, like this is it, and then it just keeps going higher.
Yeah.
So anyway, the euphoria part you mentioned, productivity goes up, profits go up, stocks go up. Then people lose their jobs, demand goes down, deflationary, very sad, very bad.
Buy a home.
So bad, it's a massive governmental response.
This is the 4th turning we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
Is this the end of the 4th turning in which a new paradigm is established?
Yeah. This is like
there has to be a unification that comes after this, a new set of ideals about what the world looks like in an AI first world, with a new economy, post-deflationary period. Like the whole thing just changes.
Dude, picture that. Like, okay, picture that
there's a new god.
That 4-panel thing where it's like, hard times create strong men. I'm just trying to picture the strong men that come out of like the AI
AOC.
I mean, this is like
literally if he's even within a year. When's the next election? November 2028.
2028 is AOC time. And if AOC comes out with a populist democratic narrative that says like, we are going to be anti-technocracy, we're going to be pro-labor,
tax the AI companies.
Yeah, like that will win. But I think that they're going to be. They're
what
going.
are you guys talking about?
It's too early for that. They're
you guys
gonna,
are saying this thing can actually U-turn,
No.
and there can be a populist like a political direction.
I think that would
stops
be-
this whole trend.
no.
I don't think it stops it. I just think it taxes it.
No, I think that would be the Dems play if they're smart. I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
get their shit together by 2028.
There's no other play that they would have. You're
Also,
saying.
I saw
Okay.
her on a foreign policy panel, and it was
They don't have foreign policy.
it was very bad.
No, they don't. They don't do foreign policy.
No, but like if you can get out in front of this wave and like play the populist Dem side like that, that would actually play well with.
That would play very
But
well.
what the
sides.
funny
Well,
thing
you
is,
guys are keeping up with like AI sentiment in the United States, right?
what is it like now?
It's terrible.
What do you mean they don't like it?
There are, well, yeah, like by far the lowest ranked sentiment across the entire world. And we're talking about pockets of people from like doomers to this doesn't work to what is it going to do to my kids to what does it do to my
so it's not just my
relationships
job.
to-
It's like
no. There's many pockets of people, and it's starting to really become a widespread movement to the point where you'll start to notice it on your social media. with normies soon, where they'll start to speak up and say things about their general anti-AI sentiment.
Okay, this would speed up my double tsunami plethora thesis, where it would just get sort of like diffused and derailed by AOC, so to speak.
Well,
in the United States in particular, this is becoming very likely.
I don't think it actually matters which political party. It's that the both would be populist in nature.
If anything,
yeah.
I think this might be one of the first times since the beginning of the polarization period that began in the United States where there's actual alignment.
Yeah, like
anti-AI
one
alignment.
Unifying theme
Like-
that both sides get rallied around.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
they'll actually stop it though.
No.
Like,
No.
yeah, for multiple reasons, right? Like the technologist, it's just so in motion that I think it's
Too
got
much
so
money.
much momentum.
There's
There's
too much money.
people
there's too much
making money off
control.
it.
And
I
it's
think
too good.
national
It's
security,
actually good.
secure. Yes.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
think
they're
that if
using
you
it for
took away
defense.
chat GPT from some people, they'd be like, whoa, almost like their iPhone, like, give me that back. Like, don't take away my iPhone.
I'm at the point where for me, using Claude is like using a smartphone and ChatGPT is like a flip phone.
Yeah.
Like that's the level of upgrade. Dude, wait till have you seen the plugins?
Hold on, bro.
Have you seen the
I'm a
plugins?
coder now.
Have you seen? I know. That's why I'm talking to you. That's why I'm looking at you.
Yeah, you're
Have you
drawing on
s-
my expertise. I understand.
Bruh, have you seen the plugins in Claude?
No, I'm having trouble.
They're a little generic for me, though, right?
Oh, dude. Do you know what Claude's doing right now? They're building OpenClaw.
Yeah. They
That's
came
what
out with
they're
the
doing.
remote control thing.
Yeah, they came out with the remote
it
control
didn't work for
thing.
me.
I think that Cowork is going to be OpenClaw, but like Claude's version. Like they're definitely trying to do the complete assistant for your work, for your life. Dude, the shit's crazy. It's just nuts. The level of innovation. Like I told my team this morning, I'm like, I can't even keep up anymore. Like I can't even like.
Just to finish this up a little bit on the article, like I think the article is directionally right. It's important. It's well read, and all that matters is the end, which it in all scenarios ends in a policy response, and that is the end game of like how we move forward in the next like 5 years and 10 years and beyond. Like, what will the policy response be? Will it just be more money? Will it be a restructuring of the tax code? You know, are we going to rewrite the rules entirely? But
It's gonna be wild, man.
yeah, the policy response is where it ends.
Because there might be literally this unified front, slow down, align.
We could have UBI in 5 years,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sooner.
which is kind of wild.
I think there's like a unemployment marker, and anything above that, it's like, hey, we need to talk about UBI. What is that number? Like,
I don't know, but like one scenario you should keep in mind is that the demand softening could happen a little faster.
Agree, and I think it can also
Not
happen,
a lot, but just
I think it can also
enough.
happen slower. Like the slope could be more gradual, even if it does start
Yeah.
faster. And I think we should talk about how you'd want to be invested in an environment like that. That's not like explicitly deflationary.
well, I have a question. Like, as an investor, when you have these two completely different worlds that will exist, you have this like euphoric world, the tsunami world, completely different than the like deflationary world where like cash is king again. How do you invest for the long term? Is there such a thing as a long-term investor anymore? Or is it like seasonal and you need to take advantage while you can and you can't time it perfectly, but we can say that, okay, the fast version is 2 years from now. Maybe the median version is 4 years from now. Here's what you do over the 4-year period. And then here's what you should be ready to do at the turn of that cycle. Like, can you just
It's
give me
wild.
the like basic version of this? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are wondering the same thing right now.
'Cause,
Like,
like,
okay, distill this down for me. I'm your everyday investor. I want to make sure my family and myself are protected.
Because you could have, the reason it's important is you could have a lost decade, which,
Yeah,
you know,
it'd be
10
terrible.
years from now, we're at 6,800 on the S&P.
You could
And but
360.
during that time, we
Yeah.
went to like 9,000 down to 3,000.
That's what
And
I'm
then,
saying.
I don't know.
Particularly
That's exactly
when
what
the
I'm saying.
KP is at all-time highs. If we don't grow into those earnings, we're going to have price come down, and that's the only way it normalizes.
Yeah, like I don't want personally, and people I know to like just do a crypto
Yeah, because it won't just be like, oh, 10
Like
years later,
round
I'm at the
trip.
same. It'll be like
I don't
life
want people to round
torturing
trip.
multiple years, like along with that.
A lost decade.
Yeah, where the behavioral biases come in and people will sell the bottom and
Okay.
and buy the top, and it'll be torturous.
I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know the answer. But what I think is that I want to be invested in what is inevitable.
Yeah.
And I think what's inevitable is that computation goes up massively. And I think that the price of gold goes up massively. Those are the two things. And I think Nick's invested that way. He's got like what do you got? Like
a gold AI barbell.
Gold AI barbell. That's exactly how you're positioned.
Yeah. So gold AI barbell.
But
And
you're
then on
saying
the other side, it's cash and bonds.
I mean, I want to be a full participant in the euphoria that I see coming. That like, listen, I wake up in the morning and I look at myself and I say, you're either crazy or you're stupid, because the entire world is telling me the opposite. I don't think that like what I'm saying is the highest probability. It's just what I believe. I believe this to be true, that over the next couple of years, we're going to have insane euphoria.
Nick has notes.
Nick has notes. I can't wait to see him. But like, what I'm trying to tell you is that this is not like the consensus play.
No, it's not the consensus play at all. The market is, high fear.
High fear.
High fear.
And
Am I allowed to do this? Is this?
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
feet might get focused.
Yeah. Oh,
So I don't know. This is how I feel, and that's how I'm going to invest for me and probably our clients. But
I mean, I have a lot of index. Just that's like the significant majority of all the liquid investments. If I had to pick and reallocate it, it would be chips and wafers, supply chain. So NVIDIA, Taiwan Semi, and like the supply chain.
good.
Okay. And then next would be the energy supply chain, because we're energy restricted.
That's a
One of the
bottleneck.
biggest, we didn't talk about, one of the biggest counters to his argument was that you need 1,000x more compute for that scenario to actually play out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're restricted by wafers and by energy.
Mm-hmm.
TSMC cannot produce the wafers to go into the chips fast enough, which could actually be good for NVIDIA because it prevents a bubble, like they're supply constricted. And anyway, energy. And I think particularly in energy,
Nat gas.
exactly, because the US, the one thing that we have a lot of is natural gas. Nuclear is way too far out. Solar has its own issues because there's
all
like
those
tariffs.
Plans are irrelevant now.
Yeah, so it's like GE Vernova. I think I mentioned a ticker a few weeks ago that was just like my beginning of the research of like, well, what goes into a natural gas turbine? Oh, there's like blades, and then there's like the actual, call it the general contractor of the whole turbine. So that was one. Maybe defense contractors, particularly ones with those AI integration, because the government is most definitely going to be still buying weapons.
Yeah, we're gonna be
even more so.
We're gonna be spending on drones and expensive ass shit that we haven't even heard of.
And then maybe in particular, this one I could go either way on. The people selling the compute, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, the hyperscalers. I don't know if their margins are ever going to like appear, because they're obviously just going to pump.
Okay.
Google in particular could be amazing because they will be vertically integrated from okay, they won't have energy, maybe they will, but like they'll have the chip all the way to like the end user application, so they might have the best margins.
But I think Amazon is good too. I think Microsoft's good too. I like all of them.
Yeah. And then maybe and then I have
going.
Citrini's bucket, because like obviously
keep
we
going.
read the guy's article, so we should figure out
Yeah.
how
Keep
he's
going.
okay. I have 81% of his portfolio because he has some like small bets that I think were rounding errors, but 26% of his portfolio was what he calls dynamic AI. And I think he basically is like constantly shifting those names. The largest name in that bucket is by far NVIDIA.
Good one.
15% in robotics, which we talked about. He had like a robotics index.
Mm-hmm.
He has one called fiscal primacy, which I've never actually dove into, but I do notice that the largest holding in there was the South Korean stock index, which has, I think, like doubled.
I think he alluded to it in the AI article where it said like,
Japan and South Korea.
Japan and South Korea who are making the stuff that you
Anyway,
need.
it's a weird basket. I didn't read the article, so I don't know what the thesis is, but anyway, that's it.
So that's the majority of his.
Well, the fourth one, 13% of it is in atoms over bits. So this is all the raw materials. Like think about the periodic table of elements that go into aerospace and AI, and particularly ones that have supply constraints or bottlenecks in the supply chain. Yeah. And then last one is natural gas supply chain. That's 12%. And that makes up 81%. So AI, robotics, atoms, or call it materials, and then natural gas supply chain, and then whatever fiscal primacy is.
I actually really like that. I'm glad you grabbed your notes. I just want to add some color on top of what I'm seeing in the market today, which is in addition to the things that I mentioned earlier, which is like gold at all-time highs and a flight to safety, Bitcoin down, software down, AI down. Another thing I'm seeing is that consumer staples mooning.
That's usually scary though. When consumer staples and energy go up and technology goes down, scary.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Right.
Okay, but I disagree.
Okay.
And let me just start with the consumer staples. When you have Armand, I want your attention here.
Mm-hmm.
When you have
Sorry, I'm having a side matrix conversation.
When you have Walmart
In the
trading at 50 times earnings, Costco trading at 55 times earnings, and Amazon and Microsoft at 23 times.
This is interesting.
I think you have to stop and check yourself and be like, I'm not going to follow the fucking herd into this stupid ass shit during the most innovative time in our lives.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I wake up and look at myself in the mirror and be like, are you crazy?
Are you dumb?
Are you an idiot? Because like the whole world is going this direction.
Why am I not buying
and
this?
Like, yeah, why would I not
discounted?
buy more Walmart? But I'm like, why would I want to buy Walmart?
Right. 55 times.
55 times earnings.
It could
on
be
Costco.
Productivity receiver. That's the only thing I think of.
I think just people want the certainty
They want
of
certainty.
those cash flows. And
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like the certainty's on the token side.
Agreed.
Bits. I want the bits.
You want the bits?
Well,
You want the tokens.
the tokens.
Yeah. And then you want the atoms that go into actually
I do
making
like the
tokens.
atoms that go into making tokens.
Yeah, I just look at like, your point like 10 minutes ago, like computation. Like that's what I think about. And I look at like the 0.06% of people that actually like utilize these platforms for productive coding development reasons or even personal usage is like 7 boxes. And I think about the fact that 2.2 billion people are still offline. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or
there
just
it is.
not.
2.2 billion people like don't have internet still. We're like in the dark ages.
That's not right.
No, I mean
Everyone has internet.
Can I talk about another category that hasn't come up? Like I don't think it was in Citrini's any of his baskets, but cybersecurity is just getting dusted right now.
I'm so glad you brought this
So
up.
Palo Alto Networks Zscaler just went below their 200-week moving average. So below their 4-year moving average, and CrowdStrike is almost it's a little higher, but like it's almost there.
Dude, we brought this up on the episode before this or two before
And it
this.
got crushed after
and
that.
right after we got smoked.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought this back up.
Because I still think one of the biggest outcomes of AI is that we are going to have some kind of meaningful cyber security issue or cyber attack, because it's just so much easier to launch these attacks, whether they're like human engineering, I forget what it's called, like social engineering attacks or brute force attacks, or just like, just like a coding agent can look at your code base to look for vulnerabilities. It can look at, if you get access, it can look at other code bases and look for vulnerabilities as well. So I don't know. I just think it's going to happen. And I think CrowdStrike, it went down like over 5% because Claude had a new feature that did like it found bugs for you.
It's a bug finder.
It's a bug finder. It's not enterprise security. Can you use Claude to build that? Absolutely. You probably could.
It checks pre-production level code.
It's amazing how reactive the market is to like a feature.
You're right.
it's wild.
It
I've
is
never
wild.
seen anything like it.
It's wild. But I think
is this normal?
No,
this is your world. Like
yes, but as
one company launching a feature does
no,
this?
I think yes, and yes. I think what I'm trying to say is that as an investor, your job is to distinguish signal from noise.
I know, but like these overreactions are incredible opportunities.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel.
And
like
they're 20 times earnings, like opportunities, like where just severe compression of
there is a distinct difference between like doing pre-production code analysis versus doing like real-time endpoint security and like responding to incidences. Like,
incidence response is what CrowdStrike really does. Like after there's an incident.
The only thing that challenges me with this is I feel like the vast majority of people sloshing the billions of dollars around are way smarter than me. And so I look at that and I say like, okay, you're very overly reactionary. Like, are you retarded? Like, what are you doing? But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, the money
no, I think there's
that
just
does this professionally. Like,
no, there's just multiple games being played. I think on the one
you
hand,
speak to it for me.
on the
Like, how
one
does that
hand,
work?
I think if you're playing a price game, you see a narrative and a momentum shifting in a direction,
short-term,
and you're saying, am I going to be able to sell this and it's going to go lower? That's a different question than like, how is this business going to be affected fundamentally?
Yeah, like I think most of the market,
in a longer term,
most of the market flows are based upon that momentum signals.
Then these are incredible opportunities.
I think
They always
so.
have been.
I mean, we're about to unleash a generation of people who are not historically software engineers, who are vibe coding apps that people might use in production. And
Bro, if I told you some of the people that are doing this kind of stuff, you'd be like, that guy is like building shit.
I even thought about it. I have my own GitHub, and I see my first little green boxes of my like
feeling.
commits. And I was like, oh wow, I have one of those now.
It's a great feeling.
And I was like, wow, people as dumb as me are going to be creating code that's going to be used, that's going to have security holes.
Yeah.
Like for example, like
That's a
I
good
know
point.
enough that you put like a git ignore on an API key to make sure you do not publish your secret key in the code base. But I don't know, maybe 60% of the humans who are publishing public work know not, you know.
Do you remember when CrowdStrike had that like fatal flaw 2 years ago and
it dumped, and that was the perfect buying opportunity.
perfect buying opportunity? Do you like, it became clear to me how reliant the world is on that software. So it was like air traffic control uses CrowdStrike, like at airports. You think you're gonna like vibe code your way to that security?
Yeah, that
Like,
was the
are you
day
fucking kidding me?
the airport stuff crashed. The airline
I think
stuff
like
crashed.
you can make it as simple as this. The more software there is, like if you could physically stack software in this room, and the more there is, the more demand there will be for cybersecurity, and just make it like as simple as that.
I agree. It increases the surface area of attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what do we do with it? 'Cause like, do we buy one lump chunk of common stock? Do I buy leaps now? Because I'm hoping that like in a year, the market will realize that these companies are needed more now than ever. Like, how do I, because I'm thinking, should I sell a chunk of something else to buy this common stock in a lump sum? Should I do it over 4 weeks? Should I do it over 3
What's your
months?
expectation.
I don't know.
Like that's important. If you expect the stock to be
Up.
over a certain price at a certain time, then you should probably use options. If you think it's just going to be up, then you should probably just buy the common.
Okay. Yeah. All I know is like higher than here.
I think so too.
So then buy the common.
I think so.
Okay. You're not going to buy the common.
I already fully allocated.
Okay.
I've been wearing this drawdown.
Wait, you actually bought it last week? No.
No, I've owned it for a long time. I've like performed so well on these names, and then just
I built
ate it.
I was telling Eric earlier, I built like a 200-week moving average screener, and I want your eyes on it because like obviously if you just do that, you have a bunch of shitty companies that aren't actually doing well. But then in there are some like great companies that are growing earnings, growing revenue above 10% a year. And the fact that they're below their 200-week moving average typically means, I think even Munger said, if all you did was buy like high quality companies below their 200-week moving average, you'd be a great investor.
It's basically all you need.
Yeah.
And like Microsoft is there now.
Is it?
Very near.
Oh, I got to talk to my screener. It didn't flag that today.
I think it depends if you're using the exponential moving average or the simple.
I thought simple was always the way to go.
Okay, well,
Is that advanced?
no, I'm a fundamental guy.
All right. Yeah. Okay, just another angle on this. Have you started sharing this with friends and family? Because I shared it with my wife, and I was like, it's funny. I was when I texted you guys the article, I was like, oh God. And she's like, what? What's going on? I was like, I think people are going to lose their jobs.
I think it's over.
And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I was thinking about people in our neighborhood, like people who live in the homes. I was like, well, his job's gone and they would lose their job too eventually. She's like, what do you mean? Are we going to be okay? And anyway, I was like, listen, this article is pretty beefy, but I think you should read it. You should just be aware of this scenario. Not that there's anything you need to do about it. You're retired, so you're good. But like, you should just be aware of what could happen in the world.
Yeah, who are the people that are like most just like insulated from this whole thing?
Like insulated in a bad way, like no clue what's going.
Or you
No,
mean like protected against obsolescence?
It doesn't even matter.
Okay, post economics.
Retired.
You have so much fucking money, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Not just. I mean, yeah, obviously they were also
Okay.
good
What
people.
about
like I think just general retire.
What about the people who work with their hands on the robots, like the robot fixers?
Great. You're an electrician working on data centers. You're good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So good.
I think if you're a senior citizen on a fixed income,
Yeah.
like you would actually welcome this scenario.
God, if you can draw on Social Security before it just gets wiped, you're great.
Before it gets wiped out. God, don't say that. Oh God, you're right. If the deficits
It
balloon
can't get wiped.
They'll just print more.
Yeah, it can't get wiped.
Buy gold.
by gold. My portfolio strategist.
If you're
Just poor.
the poor people are insulated
Yeah.
because you just don't care. You were already poor.
No.
Things get cheaper.
You were already poor and things got cheaper.
Because things get cheaper and like I'm going to get more subsidies, more support.
That's a good point.
You know, we talked about you don't want to be in the middle.
Yeah, the poverty
Like,
middle.
Don't be too productive. Don't be
Yeah, you want to be on welfare.
either be really productive,
Yeah.
or like just don't even
Just take
try.
all the free checks.
Yeah, what was that line? It was like,
Yeah, it was really good.
If you make if you go from like earning 40K to earning 50K,
Like,
you
make less
actually
money.
lost money.
Yeah, you actually lost
Like
money.
you're like as if you make 10K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 7:00. I could talk about this for hours more.
Yeah. This is a great topic.
Well, let's revisit in
Well, when the technology takes another leap forward in 7 days, we'll revisit it.
yeah.
Yeah. Fucking wild.
I
think this is the year. Everything that occurs this year has incredible, like just forward-looking impact in terms of like the timeline of how things play out.
Yeah, I think
AI wise,
you're right.
I think it's huge.
Recursively, the models would get better, but like, I don't even care if the models just stay here. Like they're like end progress. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
But
I
we're
like this.
we're gonna go from query-based AI, where you go to a thing and ask it to do something, to it just does it. And that's where, like, when I look at our company, everyone's really good at asking it to do stuff on its own. But what we haven't figured out is like, how do you provide a system or an infrastructure where anyone in the company can be like, cool, I want it to do this, and then I want it to have this agent do that, and that agent do that. And what I'm hoping to prepare my team for is that you need to become a systems engineer of your job. You do your job now, and you kind of use AI to like be a little productive and do it better or do it faster. But now I need you to think you're going to manage a system that does your job. So let's take a video editor. You no longer edit videos. Your job is to build a system and manage it that produces edited videos or whatever outcome we want.
Good example.
And I think for some of our creative people, it's not going to be so fun because they're creative by nature, and managing a system is like the exact opposite.
It's not how I think, but I
The
think
people
it's
who
really-
are really good systems managers are not very social, slightly autistic, and if they're not that, they're software engineers because they just think that way already. But my goal is that all of our tacit type of employees, like critical thinking, requires expertise employees, they become that. And the transactional ones, good luck.
My job has changed so much in the last 6 months. Just as we've been talking, like Andre Karpathy again posted another,
Another banger?
Whenever he posts, it's just like such a big deal. But like, it is hard to communicate how much programming has changed due to AI in the last 2 months. Remember, I brought it up a while ago where it was like, I moved from 20 to 80%. Not gradually and over time in the progress as usual way, but specifically this last December. There are a number of asterisks, but in my opinion, coding agents basically didn't work before December and basically have worked since. The models have significantly higher quality, long-term coherence and tenacity, and they can power through large and long tasks, well past enough that it is extremely disruptive to the default programming workflow. I mean, I was listening to a internal podcast that my co-founder does. Like, he does a podcast for the team.
Oh, cool.
And like, his entire way of working has changed fundamentally. Like, the way he worked for the last 10 years changed in the last month. Everything he does is kind of like what you described.
Yeah, I mean, but
a manager and operator of systems, engineer of agents and workflows, and like, sure, he still knows how to go in and write code, but is he doing that? Does he need to? No, he's thinking it through and talking it out. And thinking through pipelines and connecting and orchestrating.
Yeah,
you become an orchestrator.
Yeah, right. And it's funny. I saw someone post, so this is so good. Why does Anthropic have 100 software engineer job openings? And the guy's like, well, the role's different. Like, for a good software engineer, you can manage like 10 simultaneous junior engineers on your own. But it is kind of funny that they have
printing money.
Yeah, they are printing money.
And they're taking over the world.
But at the same time I see this advancement, I also get the diffusion argument that it will take time because like we're just kind of like still feels like clumsily testing something, and then you test it, but it like gets you 80% there and you're like, okay, it's almost there. And then a new thing comes out and you test it and that thing doesn't work at all. And then a new thing comes out and then there's a complete substitute product that just makes those three irrelevant. And then, I don't know, it just seems like it's changing so much that as a decision maker, it's really hard to settle on something and like build on top of it. And maybe that part is
I agree.
a good
and
diffusion
this is why
argument.
I think that compute is inevitable.
And there's still issues, right? Like there's still bugs and things and security holes and employees getting access to dev tokens. That's not a good thing, you know, like, I don't know, there's all kinds of weird stuff that comes up. So
people are buying fucking Walmart and you can invest in compute.
You're buying Walmart?
I get where that's coming from, but it's playing the game. You're playing the hand wrong.
Yeah, I think people are just uncertain.
Playing
and
the hand
scared.
safe and short term.
Yeah.
Is that what you would call it?
Yes. The only certainty is that compute is going to increase and it's going to increase exponentially.
But to them, they're looking at the exact same hand and saying the only certainty is people go to the store to buy.
And this is priced in, but if energy is actually the bottleneck, and it's not that the energy is expensive, it's just they actually can't connect it to the GPUs. I mean, Microsoft was talking about, we will have GPUs sitting in a data center all hooked up with no power to it.
Right.
So then what? Like, even if the natural gas bucket is already priced in, even considered hot, do you still buy it?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Well, the nat gas names are down. This is a good time to buy it. Well, not GEV, but
you gotta get you some names.
Comstock's down.
Yeah,
Comstock has one of the biggest proven reserves.
I don't think you bet on the commodity.
You bet on the
supply chain
that like provides the
whatever it is, like whatever it's
the commodity also goes higher.
Yes, of course, but that's like notoriously the widowmaker.
That's called the widowmaker.
It literally is. Natural gas market is called the widowmaker. So like, fuck the commodity. Like, don't buy natural gas futures.
I think Comstock goes higher.
All right. Let's end it there because we'll have plenty more to talk about.
Are you guys hungry?
Next week? Not really.
I'm hungry.
I don't really eat.
All right.
Well, I drink my calories.
You can drink while I eat. I'm very hungry.
Okay.
Let's get this man some food.
I've had like 400 calories today.
Ooh, that's not enough.
Yeah, I could use another 1,000.
You can eat more than that.
Bro, if you ate what I ate today, I don't think you would show up to the pot. You'd be like in a coma.
Your lunch is like 3 people's dinner.
No, what did you have for breakfast? What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Yeah, what did you eat for breakfast?
3 sausage, 2-egg sandwich, Kraft single cheese.
You're eating Kraft single cheese? Can we upgrade your cheese? You're wealthy enough to upgrade your
choose
cheese.
that on purpose. It's got
American cheese?
the melty, gooey,
Yeah,
loveness.
artificialness.
Just
Yeah.
wrapped in that plastic
no, it
seeping
has
into
like an
your
artificial-
fucking bloodstream.
Yeah, it takes you home.
So good.
It takes you home.
Any sides? Any appetizers
Wow.
for
So
your
you
breakfast?
made like an epic breakfast sandwich.
Mhm.
It's at least 1,000
Trying to think
calories.
of what sides I had. I think that was just it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Bowl of pasta.
I didn't eat
for
till
lunch.
like
Okay.
3:30.
Bowl of pasta, like it's like a bolognese,
pasta.
homemade,
Wow.
using turkey meat.
Wow. You've already had all that today.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I had
Must be so calm.
yeah, that just sounds nice.
Coma. Calmer than you are.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm losing it. I need food. Get me out
All right, we
here,
got to
man.
get out of here. All right, I'm gonna hit the button. Thanks, guys.
All right, good job. Later, guys.
Later.